This is me now.
Thanks, Gabe.
I hope this is the
little banter.
No, I hope this is the shot for the Instagram.
It can be.
It could be.
All you have to do is put in a request.
Yeah.
Call my agent.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Funniest People You've Never Heard of. I'm your host, Peter. This is Todd.
Hey, everyone.
And today we have a fantastic guest from the world of stand-up, and you may have seen him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Noah Copfer, one of the greatest mullets this show has ever seen.
Such a good mullet, and it's good to give us inspiration, not only comedically, but mullet-wise.
I know.
Because well, you're good. I would say yours is if his is a 10, yours right now is a 6.
Oh, okay.
Not only because of length, and mine I give it a 4. But we have time, and we're about halfway through the season, so I think by the finale, watch out.
Watch out, yeah. I'll be sitting on it. I'll be sitting on this
and
mullet.
Speaking of watch out, Noah, first guest ever to walk into a stop sign on the way into the studio. It's definitely not Third Wheel's fault. There won't be any litigation, but you got to keep your head up on a swivel out here in LA.
City of Los Angeles, less stop signs, more go signs. I'm running for mayor. Bass, watch out. Also, since I did just mention it, big shout out to Third Wheel Podcast Studio right here in the heart of Hollywood, whatever heart is left in Hollywood. Third Wheel Podcast Studio, that's where we record every episode. If you're looking to start your own podcast, go ahead and start it here. And also, if you need merch, there's only one place to go.
Bamco.
Bamco!
Bamco creates the best merchandise for your business, for your company. If you got to get your name out there to customers, clients, they'll make it happen at a price you can afford. All you got to do, Bamco.net right here. Oh, I'm messing with I'm going to see if I can do that in editing.
Oh, nice.
Might look cool.
Todd's always pushing the envelope on what we can do in post-production. And you know what? Everything that ends up in this show is edited through Todd. He does a great job. And also, if you want more, if you could even consider wanting more, check us out on Patreon for exclusive content.
Yeah, let me chime in there because Peter's talking about the editing process. Oh. These episodes last like 30, 35, 36 minutes.
Easy.
But I'm putting 8-10-minute extra chunks on Patreon. That's a lot of time. And it's quality content.
That's a lot of quality chunks.
I'm not putting scraps like that you would feed to your dog. No. I'm giving you a nice meaty drumstick to take a big old bite out of.
Prime chunks.
All for $5 a month.
That's it?
Yeah. Patreon.com/funniestpeoplepod. Get that first tier.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Check it out on Patreon. And folks,
don't make me ask again.
Yeah. Careful. We have a great episode for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please enjoy right now, Noah Copfer. But go there. I embrace the beef.
But you may be dealing with a concussion. And
yeah, dude. You know who I got beef with? The fucking city of Los Angeles for putting that goddamn stop sign in my face.
Yeah, what the heck? What's the stop sign doing there?
I don't know, man. And it's so low. It's like, don't make them head height. Don't make them head height.
Yeah. Or make them more bigger and redder.
I know. It's true. Yeah. It was the biggest sign I could have hit. I was zoned. I was just walking, hat down, took metal to the forehead.
Hey man, you know what? You're durable. Comics out here in LA, they're durable.
They're durable. You have to be. Yeah.
You gotta be to survive.
Yeah, that's what they do before every mic. They hit you with a stop sign.
That's what you look like.
Dude, look at that. I hit a fucking stop sign. That's crazy.
Holy cow. Today, our guest on Funniest People You've Never Heard of is Noah Copfer. Noah, welcome to the program. You're a stand-up, you're a comedian, you're an actor, you do it all. And you headline all over the place. In fact, one of the reasons why we ended up getting you on the show was through Ariana Ramick. She referred you to us and said that y'all been performing on the road. In fact, let's toss to that clip right now.
Someone I feel like who really deserves their flowers is Noah Copfer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Noah.
I do know Noah.
But it's such a treat every time I get to see him go on stage, especially like watching like a 20 to 30 minute set of his is really fun. Like, because we've gone on the road a little bit together, and he just knows how to build a set very well. And he's very dynamic and like knows how to like build the energy, bring it back down, and then bring it back up. And I just really admire him. And he's so funny to me. I just love him to death. And fellow Ginger, even though this isn't real. And he will say something about that.
Yeah, no, how do you receive praise, and how does that hit your ear?
It's so uncomfortable to me, but it's so, I love Ariana so much. I think she's so wonderful. She's so talented. She's one of the hardest workers out there. It's very sweet. I did pay her to say that, which is so nice.
It's a good investment.
It is, you know, it's praise is hard. I think not even just like comic wise, just like in general wise, me as a person, praise can be really hard to receive, because I think if you're already a self-critical person, there's always the initial like someone will praise you, and then you're like, yeah, but it you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. There's just the automatic correction where it's like, I could have done this better. I could have done this better. So I'm getting better at accepting it. But it's such a weird thing to. How do you do with it?
I like to hear people out, and I don't want to immediately say you're wrong, you know, because the way what you're saying hits my ear, and how I do it is my initial instinct is, yeah, but you know, there's this other thing, or like, yeah, I missed on this other thing, or like, you know, they weren't really with me here, and being nitpicky. But that makes the person giving the compliment feel like, oh, well, why did I waste my breath? You know what I mean? So you know, I like to hear them and say thank you. And I don't always move on with the conversation, because, you know, hey, you know, take the flowers.
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah. Is there a person whose praise or admiration you would like stop you in your tracks?
I think anytime my siblings say something.
Yeah,
because it's an interesting, like, my parents are very, very supportive. You know, my grandma, same. She's very supportive. But my brother and sister are also very supportive. But it's just something different when they say it. Right. You know, because we all grew up together. So it has kind of a validating feeling that I don't get from anybody else. Because you know, we've all known each other since we were like kids. And I have friends that I know that are kids, and my parents have obviously known me since before I knew what I was. But hearing my siblings say it is like is a super, super special feeling.
That's nice. Where do your siblings live? Do they live around Los Angeles?
So I'm from Arizona. So my whole family's in Arizona.
Okay,
so, cool. I'll go back every now and then and do shows out there.
Do you consider yourself like an Arizona comic, or like how long have you lived in LA? Has that kind of changed your...
So I started comedy out here.
Okay.
I never did. I've gone back to do comedy in Arizona now, but before I moved out here, I didn't know comedy was a real job.
Right.
I just thought it was something people... No, and that's a great point.
But it is an art form.
It is.
Right.
It is. I drive for GrubHub right now because success is so close. Yeah, it's right there. I can smell it right next to the food I'm bringing to somebody else. It's pretty cool. Anybody else here drive for GrubHub? I didn't fucking think so. Yeah, you guys can afford to be here. I have to bring food to people I don't know. Sucks. Then I have to go to a restaurant I can't afford, and I get there, I'm like, well, this kind of blows, but I'll have some human interaction. When I drop it off, I'll get to see somebody. No, because every person is like, leave it on the doorstep. I don't want to see you. That's disgusting. We're not the same. Different tax bracket, but yuck, go away. It's the worst. So I have to walk up like I'm leaving an offering at an altar. I'm like... Dear Melissa, here is your tender greens. Please tip me $1 so I can keep my apartment. And they never do.
How were you as a high school student?
I was a good student. I kept myself pretty busy. I did theater, and I was also doing martial arts. So,
whoa!
Yeah, for most of my life, like 3rd grade all the way up until I moved out here, I was doing Taekwondo. So that
you're doing theater and martial arts, two incredibly difficult disciplines.
2 very different ones, for sure. And Yeah, so that kept most of my like after school time completely occupied. I didn't really have a lot of stuff I was doing because once I was doing martial arts, I got to a certain point that was my first job. So I was teaching there too. So it was like I would leave school. So yeah, I will say one of my regrets, I guess, is like, you know, I'll go back to Arizona now or like Tucson on my hometown, and like when I try and show people around, I don't really have much to show because I also didn't really do that much while I was there. It was like I'd go to school, do my stuff, you know, that's really it. So when people are like, where's the fun places to hang out? I'm like, I really don't know. I know a couple places, but that's
like I
it.
could show you how to get a yellow belt.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you got a free afternoon.
I can show you my high school, and that's it.
Do you still practice that today?
No, I
He lost to the stop sign.
Yeah, dude, stop saying. Getting fist fight. Hey, disrespectful. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was something that like that was like my family back in Arizona, and when I moved out here, it felt weird to start that somewhere else. And I also feel like that was just a different chapter of my life. Like once I moved out here, I was pursuing acting and then stand up. And while I value a lot of the stuff I learned while I was doing martial arts and like obviously the people I met and like, you know, their family, I think like martial arts in general just became something that like I wasn't really like gonna continue doing.
That's great, because a lot of times it can be hard for people to leave that.
Yeah, and I think looking back, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I processed too of like me, because I was growing up doing it. So me figuring out things that like I look back and I'm like, wow, that was great. And other things I look back and I was like, oh God, like it's also just such a sports mindset too. And also like it can be very like military too, where it's very like this crazy discipline and like criticism you have to have of yourself to constantly try and be better. Ooh. I think that's also something like trying to figure out and process too.
I got diagnosed recently with extreme anxiety. Thank you for the silence. That really does help me deal with that. Here's the thing. I've been going to therapy for a hot minute. I don't understand how not everybody has anxiety. I don't get it. Like, what's your first thought when you wake up in the morning? You're just like, breakfast. Look at the sun. Fuck you. Fuck you a lot. You want to know what mine is? Fear? Immediately. Fear right away. I'm slapped awake with fear like I'm cheating on fear. Yeah, I'm happily asleep, and fear's like, who the fuck is Joy, and why do you want to feel her?
Yeah, so what's the process for you now with you know, kind of creating a new joke or you know, a new bit or you know, something that you're trying to do on stage?
So I admire people who can sit down and write.
Okay, this is a great topic for this show.
Can't do that.
We talk about this a lot. So then what do you end up doing?
So a lot of times it's while I'm doing something else. It's like while I'm driving, and not like I'm like, oh, but like, you know, my mind tends to wander. We drive so much in LA. A lot of my brain is wandering while I'm in traffic, or while I'm doing something else. I find it really hard to write outside of me not actively like experiencing something. Not even that the joke is about what I'm doing right then, but I feel like creatively I can't do something unless I'm moving around, or like I'll have a bullet point of something being like, oh, I like that thing, reminds me of something. I'll write it down, and then I have these bullet points, and then I try and keep it so that when I'm on stage, I want to either start here or get here, and then I play around with how I get there. And then it's just trial and error of like what fills the gaps, I guess.
Yeah, and you're starting from a subconscious place where, like, you know, like you said, you're doing something, but then, you know, you happen to have a good sense of humor and you kind of know yourself. And so, okay, I find this funny or this interesting or this stands out in a way.
Yeah.
You note it, and then, you know, you kind of work out what it is. If that's true, then what else is true in that world?
Yeah, and it comes to, like, there's some that I'll put down where I'm like, okay, this might just be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
And then there's others where, like, I do a lot of stuff about my dog and dogs in general.
Oh, nice.
I'm a huge animal person.
Yeah.
They're, like, a core part of my life. But a lot of the stuff that started with my dog right now started as, like, a bit. And then I notice things that she does, and it tags on and on and on. Then that becomes, like, a longer thing. But I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and you know, I admire comics who can sit in a story for a longer period of time. I think that's hard for me to do because one, I'm very physical, but also like, I don't know, the payoff is hard for me to, I get nervous where I'm like, I'll change the subject. You know what I mean? Like I'll talk about something else, you know?
Right. Or like, yeah, that's like if you're in like a group of people just talking, you're not necessarily on stage, but you're just talking to like a group of people and like somebody yawns. It's like, all right, never, you know.
Yeah, you're like, fuck my whole life. I don't have to talk about anything.
Yeah, I
ever
mean,
again. Totally.
And like, you know, I'm super aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I imagine you are too, you know, being stand up, you know, just in like life conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh gosh, what a drag. But you know, you admiring somebody else's style, you know, that's, you know, it's like, you know, Michael Jordan and Shaq, two different types of players, you know, two different types of games.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny because like a lot of I would think like me, I do the stuff that makes me laugh, but a lot of my favorite comics aren't necessarily like how I do comedy.
Right.
Like there are comics that I think definitely have inspired like how I do what I do, but I also like watching comics who I don't think I can do what they do.
Right. They're pulling off, they're doing the magic in a different way.
Yeah, where it's like, you know, they trust their words so much. And I do trust my jokes and I love my jokes, but a comic who can stand there and just say their stuff and they just demolish, I find that's scary to me. I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like I'm
not
talking
physically
like,
move?
Yeah,
Right,
just like
right.
straight up, like even if it's like Bargatze or something like that, where it's like it's all in like the words. For me, it's like I like
Oh, I see.
moving, using like visual stuff to help.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, Chris Rock's one of the greatest of all time, and you know, he's not in one place for more than 2 seconds. He's
Right.
He's a Panther. He's doing this preacher thing left and right, and that's Eddie Murphy was like, you want to keep moving, so the audience can't look down and know where you're at. And I'm like, oh, Noah does that because you that's part of the comedy.
Yeah.
Is like the physicality of it.
Yeah.
How hard is that to reach? Because to reach that level, because I imagine entry level comedy shows, people would be rolling their eyes a little bit at you kind of being so animated.
Mm-hmm.
Was it more about you putting faith in yourself, or more stage time, or a combination of both, or just over time?
I would think it's more of like a me comfort thing, because I think internally I've always liked that kind of stuff. I've always found that funny, whether it's like Monty Python or Jim Carrey. I've always liked exaggerated movements. But I think it was me trying to get the confidence to believe in a bit that I'm like, I want to do this. I think before I would have the bit, but I wouldn't have the confidence to do the act out. But then the bit wouldn't work as well because it needed that. And so now I think I'm, the last couple of years I've just focused more and more on what's going to make me, like, what do I have fun doing? It not even like, what's the most relatable? That doesn't matter. Like, if I'm having fun, then people are having fun. Like, the thing I've tried to do for a while is like, I really could give a shit if someone remembers a joke of mine.
Oh, okay.
I want them to just leave my set going, dude, that was so fun. I don't care if you remember specifics. If you do, that's incredible, and I'm very glad. I have people who come up to me and say, hey, I love these dog jokes that you're doing. But if just at the end of the day, the set was just a fun experience, that's cool with me.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that third turn, I loved it. No one's saying that.
No. They're like, that was crazy. And it's like, yeah.
That was great. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's exciting. And you're such an animated person. Thanks for, sitting in one place here with us.
Yeah, totally.
But also, you were on the last season of Curb.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
So for Curb, luckily, I acted a lot in high school and I moved out to LA to act. So I went to an acting school while I was out here. So I had experience on camera. I'd done some commercial stuff, but this was my first time on like a show.
Yeah.
What's nice is everybody who worked on that show was so nice. Could have been nicer. Grips, camera ops, makeup, everybody was so cool.
Yeah.
The director was super nice. So a lot of it is improvised, but I was lucky in the sense that my stuff, for the most part, was the like kind of the straight story character in our scene, at least. Like, I'm sort of keeping I have my beats that I have to hit. Larry can kind of play around them because it was just me and him in the scene.
Yeah.
So, which was not nerve-wracking at all.
Oof.
And what was stressful too is, so I got the part, and then a few days before we were shooting, they were like, "Hey, this is not a deal breaker if you can't, but can you do a Southern accent?" I had already gotten it, and so I was like, "Yeah, like sure." Like I had done some in school, and
It's like, what is this, an improv game?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Okay, now Southern accent, now Alaskan native. Like
New
what?
choice, new choice.
New choice. Yeah, exactly.
And so I was like, sure, I'll prepare with it. And then I get to set expecting me to do it, and then be like, you know what, we'll just go back to the, And then they were like, that works. And then so now I just have to do it all day, because the scene takes place in the South.
Right. Yeah.
So I did research and stuff. I did it, and then I did it. It worked. But as far as being on camera, the whole scene is like we're uncomfortable. We don't know what to say to each other, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Don't know what to say to this man. At
Larry
all.
David, famously, he has no time for anybody.
No. And he was
anything.
like, he was very kind on set, but
Right.
yeah, it was like the awkwardness played into it. And I think, honestly, looking back, if I had gone, I would have been more comfortable. Because I think because it was such a big deal, I had fun, but I think I was like thinking too much.
Really?
I should have just gone and just like, been a little bit more. I'm very happy with how it turned out, but just knowing me internally, there's always that thing. It's like when someone's like, you were great on Curb, and I'm like, yeah, but I could have,
it could have been better.
Yeah,
But that
I
comes
think,
with experience, right? I mean,
yeah.
you're saying that's your first time on camera, really.
Yeah.
It's in a scene with Larry David,
Oh,
just
yeah.
Larry David,
And
you got to do an accent all of a sudden. Like
Yeah.
that's a
yeah,
lot
and
to
if you
be
want to
like.
know the truth, I had not seen Curb before that.
That's
like
fine.
Oh, really?
I had not. I don't watch a lot of like comedy shows really.
Right.
And so I was getting my costume fitting, and they were like, "How does it feel?" Like, it must be incredible. And I'm like, one of the classics. And,
Just under the gun here.
yeah. I mean, I watched a couple episodes before my audition to like get the vibe, so I know
Right.
like what energy I'm going in with. So yeah, that was definitely like a learning experience for sure.
And then so you did your own special, and it's got a great start. You're in bed, you're waking up. It's really fun. It's like this tracking shot. It's really fun. People can find it online, right?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
We're good to go? Guys, we're going to slow clap it, baby. We're going to slow clap it. Get it going. Get it getting loud. Get loud. The one of the best guys I know. Guys, get the round of applause going for my man, Noah Copfer!
Yeah! I wish I came prepared. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine. I just start the show with, what do you guys want to talk about? You'd be like, he's taping this? Baller move.
What went into producing your own special? What did you think was going to happen, and what did you learn in doing? And then what were the effects of it?
It was just this thing where I felt like I had a lot of time, and I had a lot of jokes, and I was kind of in this spot where I needed to just have something online that people could go and see and being like, hey, he can do longer time, whether it's for colleges or whatever. I was doing a lot of colleges. Yeah. I don't know. I learned a lot from it, And
What'd you learn?
Sound is the most important thing. And this is even just a thing for putting out Instagram clips too. Is like, it could look like it was filmed on a Ring camera. If it sounds good, it doesn't fucking matter. So the sound is the most important thing, and I think we had some sound issues with that one.
What I mean, not specifically that, but what are the issues that people typically run into, and what was your experience like when you were shooting yours? Like, are they not miking the crowd enough?
They're not miking the crowd either at all or enough.
Yeah.
And not enough backups. Something is going to go wrong.
Yep.
Something always goes wrong. Have like doubles, triples of everything. Even if it's just like throw a lav over here, set your phone on that part over there, plug in an extra mic to the board and have it on the fucking floor so people pick it up. Like, just something, because when you're trying to capture something live, you just need all these fail safes, depending on how many shows you're doing too.
Yeah.
And what I really liked about that special is like, you know, there's jokes on it that hold up. I have a hard time watching it sometimes. Everybody has a hard time watching their own stuff, I think. But because I was so green and a lot of those jokes are better now, I just learned a lot about like what I wanted from comedy for my act, putting out something that long, and self-producing was so fun. I learned that too, like being there, and like my buddy Garrett McKenna directed it and edited it. Directed it.
I'll fix that in post.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Post is important.
I think it's so fun to shoot something with people who are also figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like I like doing it where someone's like, yeah, man, I'm not, maybe we try this, we try that. Like there is a little bit of risk with it, but I think overall when you're kind of open to shit moving around and changing, I think that's fun. So I'm glad I did that. I think letting go of like the control and also putting trust, and like it's the same thing where like say someone asks you to do a show or like to open for you or something. Like the reason they asked you is because they trust you. They don't know exactly all the material you're gonna do, and it could go good, it could go bad, but they're like, hey, I want this experience with you. And I think what I liked about that first special is that, you know, Garrett had never directed or edited a comedy special before. But I liked him, I trusted him, I find him very funny. And I was like, well, then why not? You're taking a risk on doing this for me. Why would I also not take a risk and just have us figure it out together? Yeah. Because then at the end of the day, whatever it turns out is like, we made it.
Yeah.
And for what it is, like I'm very proud of it. And I'm happy I did it, you know? And I think what it also taught me too is how like unpermanent everything is. Like when you put out your first thing, and like I don't know how you are with like how you feel about releasing material. For me, it's still a little hard. Sure. But putting out that hour like that, you put it out, and you know you expect all this stuff to happen, and some good stuff does happen, some doesn't. Yeah. And you know I put it out it's got like 14,000 views, you know, for a full special that an unknown person, I was happy with that.
Yeah. Cool.
I constantly was trying to talk to people. It's like, you know, should I release something? Shouldn't I release something? Blah, blah, blah. Right. It's like, if I felt like I wanted to put something out, I can.
The important thing is art is a practice, and there's no finish line to it. And if you treat it like there's a finish line, then you will be suffocating your creativity. But if you treat it like a practice, like a yoga, and you do it every single day, this is just what I do, then the rewards come along the way, and you learn more from what you're doing, and then more actually after the fact.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
And so, you know, wrapping things up, three final things.
Oh, damn, already.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Three final. I know.
It's been so great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's because of that head wound. You know, time flies faster.
The ambulance is outside there.
So, 3 final things. One, dude, tell us how to maintain a sick mullet like the one you're rocking.
Peter and I have been working on ours this season.
I got a little
it's
flow.
Beginning stages, but
you're more playoff hockey, and I'm a little more like my mom forgot to cut the back.
Yeah, but it looks great.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I like about yours too is like your curl is very like.
Yeah,
easy.
but it could be better if I did a different conditioner. You know,
Here we are yet again. Right back. Yeah.
Thank you, no, I appreciate it. Welcome back to Guys and Hair.
What's up?
We're dudes. We're talking hair.
Sponsored by Head and Shoulders.
this is the clip.
The mullet was my girlfriend's idea, and
nice.
as soon as I got it, I've never gotten more compliments. I've also gotten plenty of people being like, "You look insane," and I'm like, "That's fine." But it just became the thing. It's like, it sounds so corny, but it's like it's the shit that makes me feel good. I love having a mullet. It makes me feel good.
So who's your guy? Who's your mullet trimmer?
Who's my connoisseur?
Yeah.
I go to Men's Parlor Barbershop.
Whoa, that sounds cool.
In Simi Valley.
That sounds like a place where they smoke cigars while you get your hair cut.
I'll tell you what, right next to it is a gun store. So, you know.
Perfect.
That tracks.
My dog Aaron there always hooks it up.
Second thing, for anybody that wants to check you out, where can they find you on social media? And yeah, where can they find that special on YouTube?
Instead, we should have just kept asking about like what's your skincare. Like just we have another 10 minutes on.
Do you wear a foot mask? Do you, yeah, exactly. Do you moisturize before bed?
What is my skincare? Dude, it's no sunscreen at all when I should be wearing it.
Dude, same.
It's so hard to
See
wear
you in 20 years. Yeah. I don't know if we'll make it. Yeah.
Noah Copfer on Instagram, Noah Copfer Comedy on TikTok. That's where I usually post stuff on Instagram. My special's on my YouTube. It's called Deep Breaths. And then I have a Don't Tell comedy set that's out on their page that came out a couple years ago.
Last thing before we go, we got to ask you, since you were referred to us, is there somebody you think we should feature on this program?
Ellen Harold.
Oh, yeah. I love Ellen Harold. Yeah.
Oh, my God. We did a show at Westside. First off, her energy is always just so infectious. She's so funny.
Yeah.
She did a set at Westside. I watched her perform, and I was like, I don't know if I could ever crush that hard.
Really?
She's just got these the jokes that she has written right now are so insanely good.
Does she jump on a surfboard that's on the wall?
No, but it's that energy. It is that energy.
I love that. I love that clip.
It's so funny. But yeah, she's really doing a lot of incredible things.
An absolute legend. Well, dude, Noah, thanks so much for joining
Thanks
us
for having
today.
me, Peter.
Todd, anything else in the outfield?
Just be careful on your way out.
God fucking damn it, dude.
Watch
Sorry.
your heads, and thank you so much for watching on YouTube and listening on all social media and podcast platforms. For exclusive content, check us out on Patreon. Thanks for listening to Funniest People You've Never Heard of. See you next time. Bye. Funniest People You've Never Heard of is a production of Toby or Not Toby Productions. Executive producer, Todd Fields. Producer and host, Peter Murphy. Studio space provided by Third Wheel. Theme song written and performed by Justin Fields. Sponsored by Bamco, more than just merch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and find us on Patreon for exclusive content.